Yeah, police are still investigating this right now. They would not go on record to say if this is going to be a homicide or not. They said they have to wait for the coroner's report to get back to make that determination. Now, BRPD has pushed us back about a block away from Josiah's home down the road right here off of Robertson. Now, what they can tell us is that around 7:30 tonight, they found Josiah Clark's body and what they describe as a big hole that was filled with water. The police department says the picture was a joke and the officer was never asleep. Well, when that joke got sent to the mayor's office, detectives treated it like no laughing matter, doing everything in their power to find out who sent it. You see the fire left little behind. You have a tub right here that's just kind of tossed aside and other things just thrown about this house. Now, this house was vacant, but it was a house right here where the chaos took place, and one man rose to the challenge. His story is on just one state. On Election Day, there cannot be political signs within 600 feet or 2 football fields of a polling place. Vessel's accused of peddling around town and violating that zone. When we found him and his tricycle today, he wasn't talking.
Stealing toilet paper? Really?
So how much toilet paper is 90 cases? Well, it all depends on the size and quality. This case right here has 48. So when you do the math, what's that come out to? 48 times 90. And the 2 men are accused of stealing 4,320 rolls of toilet paper. That's a lot. You first advised us that you never got any allegations into any sergeant abusing drugs, but this report shows differently. You know, I'd like to talk to you about that if you can give me a comment of sorts.
I don't have a comment.
Were you lying to us? Were you covering something up?
I don't have a comment.
His story is changing, and Chief Scott Jones does not want to say why. He first said this when asked about allegations of one of his men abusing drugs.
I still don't know to this day exactly what he's talking about.
But a report from the Denham Springs mayor's office shows a different story. On September 26, 3 weeks before the chief told us he didn't know anything,
I still don't know to this day.
a Denham Springs sergeant tested positive for prescription painkillers and 3 illegal steroids. The possession of one of those steroids, trenbolone, is against federal law.
Could you tell us why your story's now changing?
I don't have a comment.
The mayor's report also shows just how dire the sergeant's suspected drug abuse was. Officers reported Sergeant Russell Munzel fell asleep several times while on duty, once sitting next to a prisoner, a separate time at a Hooters restaurant, and even once while he was standing up leaning on his police unit in a public parking lot. Other officers reported Munzel failed to respond to calls, putting officers at risk, and that he would forget details about certain cases, including a rape investigation. The report also says a nurse told the department on August 21st, Munzel showed up to the hospital in full uniform with alcohol on his breath and fell asleep numerous times.
You told us there was no reports of any drug problems.
Told who?
You told me that on several occasions.
No comment.
Were you covering something up? Was there something that you didn't want to tell us? Now, Munzel left the force Sunday night before the mayor could make a decision to fire him or not. The Civil Service Commission's investigation into the Denham Springs Police Department is nearly over. A decision of what repercussions, if any, coming out of that investigation is expected within the month. For the investigative unit, I'm Ryan Naquin. William Hayden told me he's innocent of all the charges against him, and the woman making the allegations against him is someone not related to the child and drummed up charges because she was angry with him. Yeah. I'm kind of tied up. Give me a second.
As we were ready to file our live report for the 6 o'clock news, William Hayden called me over to talk behind our live truck, wanting to tell his story, but not ready to be on TV. He told News 2 the molestation charges against him are false, and he just wants his family to get through this difficult time.
I mean, it's taking a toll on him. It's taking a toll on all of us here.
But his family wanted to share their side of the story on TV today.
It's taken a toll on her. And honestly, that's what I'm the most upset about. Who does that to somebody?
Hayden's family members say someone they used to have a strong relationship with is spreading lies because of their notoriety.
Honestly, man, it's turned into more of a media nightmare and letting people know that it's just not true. I mean, you're in the spotlight and people know that they can put you through this, so they will.
The family says the allegations are retaliation done by a woman who's angry with Hayden because he recently ended a relationship with her. They say he wanted to do a lie detector test to prove he was innocent if the accuser took the test as well. But we're told by the family the detective investigating the case refused that agreement and formally charged Hayden days later.
Neighbors have called the sheriff's office several times about this issue, but deputies can't do anything because the animals have adequate food and water. But the owner threatened to break our TV camera when we tried to talk to him.
Get out in front of my house.
Sir, this is public property.
See that camera?
Sir, I want to warn you. This is
Warn
public
me.
property.
Warn me.
If you, sir,
Warn me.
sir,
You're going to call the
suggest-
police. Go ahead.
sir.
Shut the up.
This man's in deep with his neighbors
Telling you now. Get it out in front of my house.
because they say his animals are causing a stink. He's raising a donkey and a horse at this house in a small subdivision in Livingston Parish, often keeping them in his front yard, tied up to the back of a trailer hitch.
This man has donkeys in the front yard of a nice subdivision.
Sharon Dreyer was threatened by the man when our camera was rolling.
Sheriff's around there. Way you stupid.
She thinks her neighborhood's being turned into a farm. The Meadowwood subdivision is close to the Denham Springs line. The city does not allow livestock within the city limits. But the parish line starts at this fence. The neighborhood is a stone's throw away.
If you didn't like it, why'd you move in the parish? I know you guys are right there, but you're still in the parish.
Because when we bought here, it says there will be no livestock or poultry in this subdivision.
In the subdivision's covenant, it states homeowners are restricted from owning livestock or poultry, but no laws forbid the owner from having the animals.
Now,
You don't own
as you can see, he's very volatile, and that's how he is with everyone.
Neighbors did tell me that they did not mind seeing the donkey and horse in the neighborhood, but one woman did tell me that 3 people have backed out of buying her house because of those animals that sometimes go in the front yard. Live in the newsroom, Ryan Naquin, WBRZ News 2. The man says police badgered him by phone and email for sending a simple picture. But this story is not about the picture. It goes deeper than that.
The camera snapped. This photo was posted online.
North 381.
And not long after, police focused in on their supposed suspect.
Am I a bad guy or am I a good citizen? I don't know.
This man's not showing his face because he feels uneasy with Baton Rouge police after he saw a picture he didn't like on Facebook and tried to report it. It all stems when one of the cops in this photo posted the picture on social media. The man at the center of our story, a Baton Rouge citizen, saw it and was frustrated to see a cop apparently sleeping on the job. So he took matters into his own hands.
I emailed it to Mayor Kip Holden's office. And I emailed the photo there thinking that I kind of believed the police would have just deleted the photo and nothing would have happened. So I went over their heads.
The mayor's office forwarded the picture to police, and a spokesman with BRPD said the department believed one of their own officers was tattling on a fellow cop. Investigators got the man's email address from the mayor's office and replied by saying that if he was a cop, he violated policies and procedures, such as confidentiality, unauthorized public statements, and conduct unbecoming an officer. But the email goes on to say if the man is not a cop, he could face defamation charges, which carries a fine and/or up to 6 months in jail.
They told me that they were going to press charges on me for emailing the photo of the cop sleeping to the mayor's office.
This email also states with a search warrant, police obtained the man's IP address, phone information, name, and address. The investigative unit obtained a copy of that search warrant that fails to report what crime, if any, was committed. Federal law states a valid warrant needs to specify what crime has been committed to seize someone's cell phone records. At stake are 2 possible civil rights violations. freedom of speech and illegal search and seizure.
Unless there is some showing that what the individual who was taking the photograph or doing the videotaping was doing was creating some kind of hazardous situation, was interfering in some fashion, then they have a First Amendment right to do what they're doing, and there should be no sanctions of any kind.
It was really an attempt to utilize the legal process to really further the internal affairs investigation, which are obviously separate, and it really is something that probably shouldn't have been done.
Was the chief aware that this search warrant was being filed?
The chief was aware of everything that was going because we wanted to make sure we were thorough in our investigation.
Corporal L.G. McNeely spoke with us after Chief Carl Dabadie declined several requests for interviews. The department stands by its decision to seize the citizen's cell phone records because it says BRPD already has a problem with photos of cops with their eyes closed circulating throughout the department.
We would seize whatever we have to do to find out exactly what we need to know, and as if this accusation that you're making is actually true.
The police department says the picture was a joke and the officer was never asleep. But when that joke got sent to the mayor's office, detectives treated it like no laughing matter, doing everything in their power to find out who sent it. To do this without seizing his cell phone
I can't say that there is or isn't.
How come?
We had to make contact with him.
I felt like I was talking to my high school bully. The picture wasn't lewd at all. It was a cop sleeping. I was trying to be a good citizen.
Again, police deny the officer was sleeping. Judge Anthony Marabella signed the warrant and refused to tell us why he approved it. The officer who took the picture was counseled. The officer who had his eyes closed faced no reprimand or punishment. Now, the man who sent the photo to the mayor's office says he's considering bringing civil action against the department. For the investigative unit, I'm Ryan Naquin.